Hey, welcome to Guitar Knobs, the guitars, gear, noise, and nonsense podcast, hosted today by these knobs.
Tony Dudzik, Pick Guardian.
Hey, everybody, it's me, Todd Novak. Welcome to the Guitar Knobs podcast. It's just me and Tony in the studio today.
We're so glad
Well, I got stuck.
that you're here.
Thank you. We are, yeah. What do I usually say? Why did I get stuck?
I don't know. I don't know.
We are thrilled to death that you were listening to our show. That's what I meant to say.
And then I do that part.
Yeah.
Easy.
Okay.
Jeez.
We'll just use that take.
All right.
Hey, we've got a great show because we've got a very special guest on the line who has a little something to do with something we've been yapping about. Guest, introduce yourself.
I'm Sam Jett.
Sam Jett, maker, founder of the Tony Boloney Pedal. You can add that to your resume.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're going to talk all about it. We're still excited about it over here. We got a couple of them left, and I bet you by the time this airs, they will be near gone. So you're going to want to hop on this. Toot sweet, my
Toot
dearies.
sweet.
Yes.
Because there's only 20 available. Is that correct?
Well, there's less than that now.
Well,
Not anymore.
Yeah.
well, not anymore.
There are, as I have count, we have 10 left.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
They
10
are-
left? No.
Going fast.
11 left.
Excellent.
Yes.
Going slightly less fast.
So, anyways, that is happening. So you're going to want to get on this, everybody. And if you're like, hey, skip it, I'm not going to wait till the end of the podcast, go to Instagram, put in at Tony Boloney, Boloney, pedal, all one word, and send a message direct. Hit the message button and say, I want a pedal, and then we'll get your information and go from there, okay? That's the way to do it.
That's how you do it.
175 delivered to your door. And that 175 is going to where, Tony? Hungry for Music.
Good job.
That's my Todd
I-
impersonation. Hey, stop that.
Hey,
Yes, it's going to
Hungry for Music.
Hungry
yes.
for Music.
I forgot.
Which puts
Sorry.
which puts musical instruments in the cans in the cans of heads in the heads of kids that might not otherwise get them, and that's a really, really good cause. And this is all thought up by the guy that we're about to talk with, Sam Jett.
Yes.
So, okay, we have lots to have fun with today.
Yes.
We got a couple of announcements
Yes.
before we get going too far. Now, so we just did that episode about are you powering your amp correctly
Correct.
with Rob, and that was an absolutely fantastic show to be part of. I learned all kinds of
You know
new
what I
stuff.
learned?
What did you learn?
I am not powering my amp correctly.
I know, neither am I. I bet you most of us aren't. We identified 2 amps in here that aren't being powered correctly.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. So, fortunately,
Oh.
we should have had our friend Chris Gill on because apparently he has a lot of input on this because he shared it with me.
Yes.
Lots of it. He also shared some of it on the YouTube channel.
Yes. I did want to mention,
Yes.
on that episode, we said, hey, we ought to reach out to Joe Bonamassa to see what he uses on his. Mm-hmm. And I did. And he wrote back and sent me a picture of his conditioner, and he says he's running everything at 120.
Interesting.
Including his, and I said, well, don't your vintage amps, like maybe the 112-ish? He says, I run everything at 120.
Wow.
And he's got this like monster made in Japan 80 rack space. Well, not 80 rack space, but a big hunk o metal.
Yeah.
That is.
But everything goes through that, so it doesn't go above or below that, right?
Correct.
Okay.
That conditioner actually keeps everything constant.
That's really interesting. I
Yep.
wonder, does he expand on why?
I think that's just what he's always done. I'm just trying to pull it up. Oop, there. That's not it. Here it is. He says, I use this. It keeps everything at 120 volts, 60 hertz. And he says, I run everything at 120. Dumbles, Marshalls, and Fenders. No sag.
Wow. Okay. Well, there you go. I wonder what Rob has to say about that. He usually has something to say about everything.
Yeah, I thought I sent a copy of that to Rob. I don't know if he did he comment on that? I can't remember.
Did Rob tell you that, perchance?
He might.
Rob. Yes. Okay, so let's find out what Chris Gill had to say. He sent me a lot, so I'm going to spread it out over a couple shows, I think.
Okay.
But I was really glad to hear from him on this. I termed my thing high voltage. So he said, "Hey guys, great episode. I put some Van Halen Variac comments, explanations in the YouTube version that you can cut and paste and distribute to all your various other outlets and media where the podcast appears. I recommend using a kilowatt to measure wall voltage. It's an El Cheapo device that plugs directly into a wall outlet and has a big, easy-to-read LCD meter. It's not an LCD meter. It's an easy-to-read LCD that is a meter. Mm-hmm. I use mine with a Variac to measure its actual voltage output. You can keep the kilowatt plugged in to constantly measure voltage as it has an outlet to pass voltage through it.
Oh, cool.
I also use it to measure the amperage load. Very helpful for that application. This one I have is $30. Such a deal. Huh. So I need to figure out where to post this. I guess, well, I don't know exactly where to post it, but you can go to Amazon. I got to figure out where to post this. Maybe I'll put a picture. I'll just post a picture of it, and you guys can fend for yourselves.
Yeah, as long as it has the name of it.
Yeah,
people can find it.
Yeah, but it's literally called Kill a Watt. Huh. Not kilowatt, but KILL watt. Yeah,
cool.
Usage monitor.
Did he talk about anything about the EVH?
He talked about all kinds of stuff.
Okay, we're saving that for another episode.
Well, let's see. We can go through some of this right now. Might as well let's just go through it right now. Sam, are you okay with that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, perfect. So he said, "Hey, at 59:58 on the actual YouTube, he said, I recommended carrying a kilowatt meter in your gig bag if you're worried, confused about using a multimeter and are scared you could end up like Bougie Boy sticking a fork in a toaster. A kilowatt is only $40 and plugs directly in the wall outlet." We just talked about that, but that was a little bit more fun color on that. Then he said, "I've discovered that many mass-produced new amps, especially FMIC brands,"
Fender musical instrument.
Okay, that's what I thought. Fender are not biased to ideal specs, but are instead biased cold. I've heard this was to prolong tube life and delay orvavoid. Delay. Delay or hey, spaces are everything. Delay or void a warranty claim. Could it also be compensation for higher voltages encountered in most homes today? ?
Could be.
Could be. I don't think he was asking me because I certainly don't know. I think it was just a rhetorical question.
Yes. No
Now,
answer necessary.
As to the Van Halen thing, I got a couple of responses on this scattered about.
Yes.
And as we expected. But this is... of all the people that are going to speak on behalf of Eddie Van Halen, Chris Gill, who is extremely close, with him and interviewed him many times. In his first Guitar Player magazine interview in 1978, Eddie Van Halen said, "I use voltage generators, which can crank my amps up to 130 or 140 volts. Amps sound like nothing else when they are cranked up so high." In the original issue of Guitar Player, this was accompanied by an editor's note warning people not to do this, as one could risk electrocution and expensive or damage. Expensive amp damage. Unfortunately, when the article was reprinted in the Positively Van Halen GP Special issue in late 1984, the warning was gone. Hence the great transformer shortage in 1985. and the premature deaths of numerous guitarists named Sparky, Jackie, and Fritz. Ed was lying. He always decreased the so that was, here he goes. Ed was lying, which I think that was also sort of the famous myth. Like, he was just making stuff up because he didn't want to give away his special sauce.
And he also owned a amp repair business on the side.
Yes. Ed was lying. He always decreased the voltage to 89 to 90 volts and adjusted the bias for the lower voltage. Its questionable origin story is that Ed said when he bought a second Marshall 100-watt head, it came from England, and the voltage was either wired or set up for usage at 240 volts. He didn't know that, and when he plugged in the amp, he could only get sound with it cranked all the way up. The volume output was very quiet, but it was distorted like a fully cranked Marshall should be, and he loved that sound. Allegedly, he later discovered the voltage mismatch and reasoned that he could use a light dimmer to reduce the voltage going to the amp, and use the dimmer as an ersatz master volume control. The dimmer blew, of course, so he went to Dow Electronics, and they recommended a Variac. Voila! Eureka! Well, okay then. I actually think this is a tall tale and that Ed found out about using a Variac with an amp from the dudes at the Charvel workshop. In an old interview, Wayne Charvel mentioned having a Fender Twin reverb amp in his shop with a built-in variable transformer, and that was something that numerous country players were doing in the LA Bakersfield area around the early 70s. Wayne wasn't even referring to Ed's use of the Variac. He was just describing his shop when he started doing business. Connect the dots. Okay, well, I don't know if that clarifies anything, but it's another bit of information, very detailed bit, and I really appreciate Chris sharing that with us all. And next time we do that or anything like that, we're going to have him on the show because he is an encyclopedia of knowledge, rivaled only by Tony Boloney. So, any and all questions about that, I would actually maybe talk to Chris. Look up Chris Gill. He's out there on Instagrams and stuff. Okay, so let's get on with the rest of our show. Tony?
Yes?
Let's find out what's going on in our music world this week. We're going to start off with, we're going to mix it up. Sam, why don't you tell us what's going on in your music world, and then we'll go to Tony.
Okay.
He looks distressed anyways.
Yeah, no problem, guys. So not too long ago, I was able to acquire a grunge caster from our good pal Gary Cooper of Partscaster Concierge. Yeah. So he had put one up for auction, and I took one look at it, and I decided that it must be mine.
Nice.
So yeah. So I was able to get that, and I was actually able to pick it up in person from him. I drove up. We met actually in Columbus during the week about 2 weeks ago, I think. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to meet up with you guys. The stars did not align. It was on a kind of a tight crunch, but I was able to meet up with him. What a great guy. We had a good time.
What was he doing in Columbus?
He drove specifically there to meet with me. So
wow.
We met halfway, and what
Guess
a
we're
guy.
chopped liver, Gary Cooper.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we had a good time and picked up the guitar, got it home, and I've been wailing on it since.
Nice.
Single pickup, and it's got this neck on it. It's a Warmoth neck, but they started doing I think it's called their boat style. So it's pretty thick, but it's carved down to where it's thick, but it doesn't play thick. If you catch what I'm getting at.
Like Tony.
Really, yeah, exactly.
Oh no, I play
there you go. But chording on it, and most of the time I'm playing just rhythm and stuff. So chording on it is a dream. But it's fast enough to where, and it's angled such that going up the neck isn't too big of a deal. Anyway, it's very comfortable. And he put this distressed finish on the body of it that just looks killer. So it looks like it's been worn back. It's like kind of a Pelham blue sort of, but worn through he wore through the top of that in areas, and there's like a sparkle black underneath it, and then bare wood. And he put this extended neck plate on the back that has this really cool lily motif on it. So I, of course, had to name the guitar Lily, Lily the Grunge
cool.
Caster. Yeah, so that's what's been going on there. I've just been playing that thing like crazy. Been having a really good time. So I just wanted to give a shout out to Gary there. He knocked it out of the park with that thing.
Excellent. What color is it?
So it's it's distressed blue, and parts of it like a kind of a Pelham blue, but it in parts kind of where your arm would wrap around the body and near the bridge and stuff. It's worn through. It's distressed. So blue, and then distressed through to a sparkle black, and then down to bare wood and spots. So it's pretty wild. Look, I'll send you a picture of it. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
So with the neck itself is roasted maple, and the fretboard and stuff. So you got a really cool look to it with nice big old stainless steel frets and stuff. So like I said, he did an awesome job with it.
Super cool. Tony,
Todd.
oh, bless us with this involved, intriguing, enrapturing week of yours.
Well, since you put it that way. So you're going to laugh, but I have been watching episodes of Lawrence Welk.
I don't doubt that. I'm not surprised by that at all.
Do you want to know why I've been watching?
Well, because you grew up watching that, number one.
No, I was Lawrence Welk's father. I'm proud of my son. No, I watch it because there are two guitar players in Lawrence's orchestra.
Okay.
The first was Buddy Merrill, and he came on board in 1959. And if you happen to catch any of the black and white Lawrence Welk episodes, you will see him play.
What do you mean if we happen to catch it? Where on earth are we going to catch a black and white Lawrence Welk episode?
You can find this stuff. It's on the internets, on the YouTubes and all that stuff. But if you just go to the sections where they're spanning or panning through the orchestra, you will see Buddy playing some incredible.
You see Rich Warlock?
No, no, he did not have the hot tub time machine like we do,
yes,
of course.
Yes,
but he plays some really. He has typically an early Fender Strat. He also has a prototype Electric 12 that he played.
Really?
Which is really cool.
Did it have the drippy banana thing?
It did have the drippy banana headstock, yes. Otherwise known as the hockey stick headstock, as people in the industry call it.
Sure.
But in addition, so Buddy got drafted. I'm sorry, he started in 1955. In 1959, he got drafted, and they replaced temporarily with another great guitar player called Neil Levang.
Was he a linebacker or something?
Why?
He got drafted.
He drafted in the Army.
Oh, right.
Jeez. Okay. We still had a draft back then, back before you were born.
Yes.
And then Neil was supposed to go away, but when Buddy came back, Lawrence liked having two guitar players. So
Buddy, come back. You've been such a fool to leave.
Anyhow, if you watch any of those episodes, you'll see either or both of them playing some pretty cool instruments. And I just thought I just love seeing stuff. I mean, I even go so far as to watch Hee Haw from time to time.
Those are still funny.
Yeah, well, for you. For you.
Yeah.
But, there's some great guitars and things that show up on those little episodes. And Roy Clark, of course, was just nutty. But interestingly, Neil and Buddy played together for the next 12 years. I think that was from like 60.
How come you didn't say Buck Owens, too?
Well, he's on Hee Haw.
Yeah, so is Roy Clark.
I understand that.
But you didn't mention Buck Owens when you said...
I jumped back to Lawrence Welk.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm a picking, and I'm grinning.
There you go.
There you go. Are you happy now?
Thank you, I am.
And then Buddy left in like 1974, and that left Neil by himself. And Neil played all the way till the very final episode of Lawrence Welk in 1982.
I was going to say 1982 as a guess, and I would have been right. But
you would have been right, but you didn't guess.
In my head, that's what
so
the number
you lose.
Was.
That's the answer.
Yes.
So anyhow, if you have a chance, if you can, they're all over YouTube. Sometimes they'll run a special on.
Do they ever like throw the spotlight just on them while they're doing their?
Oh yeah,
Yep.
Yeah, they do. I mean
cool.
And that's what's really cool, and you can see some of these really cool guitars.
Awesome.
And many of which are prototypes.
Very cool. Very cool.
That's my week.
I like it. We need to get you a hobby. So I have a Supro Black Magic amp.
No
longer, because I got an AC30.
Woo!
I traded it in, traded that and the extension cab. I walked in with both, and I said, "Look, I'm going to take a hit on this, but how about you just give me this, and you can have these." And that's pretty much what happened. Bunch of rigmarole, in between. They couldn't just go, "Yeah, man, that's cool."
I got to go back and talk to the manager.
Yeah, they had to do their, two-step thing. Well, you're gonna have to pay some little bit of tax on this, whatever. So I just, it was sitting there. It had greenbacks in it.
Yep.
And it was it's a C2.
How's it sound?
Sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. And naturally, one of the first things I did was trying to figure out how to not do exactly what it's supposed to do.
So you buy a Vox, and you expect it not to sound like a Vox.
No, it does. It does. It sounds great.
Yes.
But I jumped. The first thing I did, like within 10 minutes, was jump the.
Oh yeah, we should always do that anyhow.
Well, but I know lots of people that don't.
Yeah.
Actually, most people I know that have them don't. Anyways, I did, and I was like, "This sounds really great." The huge difference with the speakers, obviously.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm gonna figure out what I'm gonna do. Am I gonna keep them? Am I gonna sell them and throw some Alnicos in there? I'm not really sure.
Well, you've got one Vox with an Alnico in it. No, you don't. No. Weren't you going to get an Alnico?
Well, I was thinking about it.
Oh, no. Okay.
So yeah, and then it was like, whoa, why did I get that one? I just got the Vox S1 112.
Yes.
And then I brought it over to practice. I'm like, this sounds great. And then I had to put it back in the car and take it back. And then to do that like 4 times, like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm leaving one at the studio. So I don't have to transport that one.
You
so
can keep
I'll
one
probably,
over at my place.
Yeah. I'll probably gig with the 30 and leave the S112 in our band room.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, or at home.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I got to figure that out.
The thing with the 212 AC30 is that's probably the one you want to move the least.
It is, but it also has just, it pushes air,
Yeah.
It's a kick in the chest, which is awesome.
Yeah.
If you're,
Or other parts.
Yes. And that also gives me flexibility if I'm doing something bigger that's like, hey, we need a little bit more stage volume, maybe outdoors, whatever.
Okay. You have my permission.
I appreciate that. I appreciate it.
That's cool, though. I'm glad.
Yeah, it was really cool. I thought you'd get a kick out of that.
Yeah.
Hey Todd.
Yeah. Hey Sam.
Hey guys. Doesn't Hex Matos? He's like exclusively a Vox guy.
Yes.
Total Vox guy.
He plays a Vox AC30 live. I know he's got an AC-15 hand-wired at home.
Mm-hmm.
And
Copycat.
Yeah, it's just like Tony. So I've got 2 Vox experts to help me navigate the Vox waters.
We prefer to be called Voxperts.
Voxperts, yes. This is true. So, anyways, I'm really happy about that. So I have that, and then I have, if I want to go Marshall for whatever reason, I still have that stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just fun, And I didn't have to, I didn't have to walk in there and go, 100, lick my finger, here's 200. I didn't have to do that. I said, here's gear that I'm not using. How about you give me some gear that I will use?
Nice.
Yes. Now, here's the only thing. If you are a person who has a Supro Black Magic and or a Supro Black Magic extension cab, and would like my old, I made black grills, and we did a beautiful 3D print of the actual logo. It's exact. I mean, if you got one from the company, it would look exactly the same. And if you have those and you want them, shoot me a message. I'll just give them to you.
Wow.
That's how I am. I made those myself, and they looked killer on stage.
Cool.
Yeah, so that gives them the option.
So you can
of
have
putting
the
a
sparkly white or black.
Black.
Yeah.
The black was cool.
Black was cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
White, the sparkly white, I mean, it's a signature amp. You see that a mile away, and you're like, that's a Supro Black Magic.
Yes.
But for our vibe, I was like, I think I need some black.
Yes.
So, anyways.
Like your soul.
So shoot me a message. How about that?
Yes.
All right. Okie dokie.
Todd.
Yes.
Can I have your grill cloths, please?
You can have them unless somebody else claims them, Tony. Now, you know what the coolest thing is? On hand, it was so easy. It was so easy for me to jump those inputs. You know why?
How would you do that?
Because I had, it was a little, I have to get a shorter one now, but I had a tour gear patch cable just hanging out, just saying, use me.
C-shape or S-shape?
I had to use an S-shape one because that was the only smaller one that I had laying around. So I got to get some more. So yeah, if you're like, I could use a good cable, low profile cable to jump these. It's a little 3-inch cable, just bit about bow. You got that thing on there and you're jumped.
But can't you also use these Tour Gear Design patch cables
that's
for
what
putting
they're
your pedals?
Designed for, Tony.
Oh.
And they do such a good job.
I thought that might be the case.
In fact, if you want to hook up your new Tony Boloney pedal to your new Guitar Knobs Boost pedal, that's what you need to do.
I like that idea.
Yes.
I'm going to do that right now.
Perfect. You can go to tourgeardesigns.com, load up your cart, and then when on your way out, what you're going to do is you are going to put in the guitar knobs on the in the little coupon code.
The
all
guitar
one
knobs.
word. You're going to save 15%.
15%.
That is correct.
You're going to love that deal. You might even go back and load more stuff in your cart.
You just might.
Because
when
that's
you
like getting a bunch of
realize
free.
what a good deal that
A
is.
free bunch of cables.
Yep.
Pretty much.
So anyways, we want to thank Tour Gear Designs for sponsoring our 4 on the Floor. Tony?
Let me.
No. You blew it already. Brian Robinson, take it away.
Let me get a little bit of this.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
4 on the floor.
All right, Sam Jett, ushered in by the one and only Brian Robinson. Thank you, Brian, for that.
Thank you, Brian.
Give us your 4 on the floor. Your V2.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is version 2. So the first time was episode 299.
Thank you, Tony.
You're welcome.
I believe the episode was 299,
Yes,
Todd.
yes.
There
Well
you
done.
go. We consulted the library there. So the first round, I've completely redone my setup here. So for this particular round today, is actually what's on my pedal board right now. And the caveat being, I'm not using an amp at the end, but rather I'm using a cab and amp and cab simulator, the Boss IR2. So all this is going into the Boss IR2. Yeah.
Really?
So I plug Yeah, so I plug into a DI, into a PA system when we're playing out. So that's how I do it. But anyways, so that is what I'm using, and so as a result of that, also I needed low power consumption because I wanted to minimize the number of cords going all over the place. So I actually have a Mission Engineering battery pack on there that powers the entire pedal board.
Wow.
So yeah,
you
so
could go
that's
play Burning Man right now with that rig.
Absolutely, you fly out there right now, just go crazy. So
there's probably an anesthesiologist tent. I bet there is.
There is, yes.
There's a special
like, as
club.
far as like, you get a hydration club,
Yeah.
get in there.
You're gonna have to tell us the
exactly.
secret anesthesiologist handshake.
That'll be off air. Yeah, I don't want to get my trade secrets out. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Man's got to make a living.
The Order of the Needle.
The Order of the Needle and Mask.
Anyways, okay.
It's actually gas passing. That's the password.
Yes.
But anyways, yeah. So the number one is the Rare Buzz Effects Yearning. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Our good friend John.
John Esterly. Yes, sir. Yeah. So this one is actually a special because I'm a special person. It is in a Shoneswood effect enclosure. So John had that laying around for a while. He said, "You know what? I'm going to put a Yearning in this enclosure," and then I purchased it from Mr. Esterly. So anyways, the Yearning is so normally it is an always on effect, and of course this particular one has a foot switch. The irony there being that I actually haven't turned it off yet, so it didn't in fact need the foot switch. But it's essentially a buffer boost. So with the one knob turned all the way counterclockwise, it's a pretty even buffer. But as you turn it up, you get like 40 dB of boost there, and it really just kind of sweetens things up without. And the noise floor is really nice and low. John did a really nice job with this pedal. So I usually have it at noon. And the knob is big enough to where, and rather than using the volume knob on the guitar, I just use the knob on the Yearning to kind of play with the dynamics and stuff. It's very responsive with the guitar, so and it plays well with other pedals too. So that's my kind of always on buffer / boost pedal. So that's number one.
Mm-hmm.
And then going from the Yearning, I have a low sounds cha-cha. So that is essentially a green Russian big muff with a couple of modifications. So rather than using discrete transistors, it has a transistor array. And I think let me look this up real quick here. A CA3086 is the specific chip there. Okay. So with a transistor array, they tend to have the transistor values within the array tend to be pretty low gain. So it gives it this nice saturation there when you really goose it. And the other thing about the pedal that I really like is that in the tone control, there's an additional mids control, so you can really dial in, dial your mids in, and it's pretty responsive to other pedals, and it stacks well with, especially with the Tube Screamer. So usually I have the cha-cha on when so the Boss IR2 has different amp settings. So I actually have that running into the Vox setting. So
wow, okay.
It sounds awesome. Yeah. So it's like just your killer rock and roll tone there.
Nice.
So yeah.
I like the mids factor on that.
Yeah, it really makes a big difference, especially if you pair it up with, say, a Tube Screamer or a Tony Boloney.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, Yeah, exactly. So it really accentuates the mids there, and being able to really fine tune the mids with that control there is pretty special. So I really adore that pedal, and Aisha makes just awesome stuff. So that is number 2.
Okay.
Number 3 is a Brown amplification protein.
By the way, sorry, before you go any further on that, I should say, you're right. And I like that she's out there doing that. And we've had, Tony is busy, but he's going to tell us when the Low Sounds episode was. That was a while ago. I think that was in our old shop.
Was it?
Yeah, but she's, making really cool stuff.
I'll look that up.
Yeah, she makes some really cool. I have many.
And she's a
of her
bassist
pedals.
at Heart, I believe.
Yes, that is correct.
I have the Super Fuzz, and it's like,
oh man, that thing will peel the paint off the wall.
It will, but it's actually pretty sweet on bass because it's so bass heavy for guitar.
That would be episode number 156.
Oh my goodness, that was a long time ago. Yes.
Back in 2019.
156. So go check that out if you're interested in seeing what Aisha Lowe does. Okay, please continue.
Awesome. Yeah. I appreciate the shout out for Aisha there. She's, like I said, she's fantastic. But anyways, number 3, Brown amplification protein. So this is kind of a 2-in-1 overdrive pedal. Has 2 sides. I pretty much have the blue side always on. That's based off a Marshall Blues Breaker. So it gives you this nice, and typically I have kind of, but actually both the volume and the gain kind of, what is that, like 10 o'clock, something like that. Nothing, not goosed or anything, but it gives it a nice kind of boost there, pretty reactive with the dynamics of your guitar. And then if you flip the green side on, it's like, whoa, which is based off a Noble's ODR1. So very versatile pedal, and the controls are pretty easy to use. So normally, kind of the way I use it is I either have the protein on, or going through the Fender Twin Reverb setting on the IR2, or I have the Vox setting on and I have the cha-cha going. So that's kind of normally how I differentiate between the different sounds and stuff when I'm playing. But anyways, the what I really like about the protein is that it is like infinitely stackable. So and it is, it just is, it sets your baseline overdrive tone is just so nice with that, especially if you have the always on yearning going into it. It just is such a sweet overdrive sound. So that's the
Well, I was just gonna say, I early on, this is in 2020, so it was a little bit weird, but I reached out to Brown to get them on a show, and I said, that's awesome, let's do it. And I need to hit them up again because I think it just kind of fell off the face of the earth.
Oh, that'd be great.
Because they make, they got some great stuff. I'd love to get them on the show, so I'm gonna re-pursue that.
Do it.
Okay.
All right. So that's number 3. Number 4. So I have this would be essentially the last pedal in my chain. There is the Old Blood Noise Endeavors Minim.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this guy is kind of a do-it-all ambient machine. So you've got reverb, you've got delay, and you have reverse, which is pretty wild. So you can even switch the order of the reverse circuit.
And a blend.
And a blend. Yeah, exactly. It has a blend. I actually really love the controls on this. There's a lot going on, but it's actually pretty intuitive to use. Like, it did not take me too long to really dial in a sound that I like with that. Which, with a lot of those kind of ambient machines, you can get lost very easily and impossibly lost. But this one, that is not the case. So like I said, it has some really nice, lush reverb sounds in there. The delay is warm, and I don't know. I really like it, and it's kind of gives that perfect ambient kind of tone that I'm kind of going for with some of the songs that we play and stuff. So yeah, and I have that going into the effects loop of the IR too. So I don't know. Overall, it does what it needs to do, and and the one thing about this particular pedal, I spent hours researching different ambient kind of tone machines, sort of, for lack of a better word. This one has pretty low power consumption, so and that was really important, because what I didn't want to happen is the battery on the pedal board to run out mid set. That would be very sad.
Yeah.
So
Hex was telling me he had one of those, and he toured Europe with that battery.
Oh man!
And only had to charge it twice.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah. So.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm using a little more power than that, I think, with
possibly.
But no, I'm kidding. But it really it does actually last quite a long time. I've been tickled pink with it. So yeah, it works really well.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, thank you for sharing your updated 4 on the floor.
Yes, sir.
We have a really fantastic bespoke pedal here, the Tony Boloney, which we've done a couple posts on, and we are trying to just, get the awareness factor out. And we want to hear all about what this does, why you did it, what on earth possessed you in the first place to pursue this thing, and I think it'd be worth finding a little bit more out about you. Can you
Sure.
What do you do for a living?
So I'm a
pedal maker.
Definitely a troublemaker. But no, I'm a practicing anesthesiologist.
So you still haven't got it right, or?
Yeah, I actually, truth be told, I practice privately. So
yes. I gotcha.
Yeah, but I'm a physician anesthesiologist.
Yes,
so,
nice.
Yep, down in Winchester, Virginia.
I see. Now, for whatever reason, I always think that's such an intriguing line of work. And I assume you are pretty good. Now, is this all? Is it intravenous, or is it gas?
I do a little bit of everything, my man.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I do.
So you're a phlebotomist too, huh?
I like I said, anesthesiologists, we know how to do a lot of different things.
Now, when you say a little bit of everything, does that also include a cast iron skillet to the back of the head?
For you, Tony, I probably would do that.
Yeah. So anybody out there that's had anesthesia, lately, I think, I don't know. I'm going to ask a couple anesthesia questions, if you don't mind.
By all means.
Because it's funny. And I think we've talked about this a little bit, but I recently had to go in for something, and they said, "Oh, we're gonna put you in twilight." And I said, "What's that?" And they said, "Well, it's not full blown knock you out. You're like kind of clinically not quite dead, And I said,
not. "Oh my gosh!"
And I said, I'm like, okay, I guess, and I suspect that was done because as I'm being wheeled in, I'm looking around, I'm like, there's a lot of beds. I'm like, how many of these you do it? And I think, about 80. And I was like, 80. Which made sense, because then they don't have, if you're under twilight, you don't have as long a recovery time, I would imagine.
Yes.
And they can get more people in. The problem was, apparently, for this specific procedure, I reacted as if I was getting that procedure and turned it into a WWE match.
Oh man, you're one of those, huh?
Yes, but I didn't know what I was. I don't have any recall of it, but they were like mad at me about it. I'm like,
I saw the video.
do you know what
bad.
you did? No, you did. Like, just imagine what everybody says about when aliens come down and all that stuff. That's what it was.
Hello.
Yeah.
Cuckoo, Mrs. Robinson.
So yeah, I figure if I was semi-conscious, I reacted accordingly.
Yeah.
But why on earth would you? Yeah. Anyways, is that common?
It happens for sure, and there's no reason to be ashamed for it. And some people.
They just can't take a punch. That's the only problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's and you know what? That's exactly what I would have said to you.
Oh, he's hitting me. Oh.
He's a big mean man.
I'm just kidding, obviously.
That's when you use the cast iron skillet.
Exactly. Yeah. So if the IV stuff doesn't work, we go straight to the cast iron skillet, and we go from there. So you might see some stars.
Yes.
You might have a lump on the back of your head, but that's what that's from.
Yeah. Well, I've since decided to tell everybody, and they're like, "Oh, do you have any?" Yes, I have I'm allergic to Twilight stuff. Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
No, but like I said, some people react that way. Nothing to be shamed about. And the next time, heaven
You keep
forbid,
saying that.
You shouldn't feel bad, Todd.
This shame you're feeling is really unwarranted. What?
and if you are feeling shame, well, maybe you should.
Maybe you should.
Maybe you need to talk to a psychiatrist.
Well, that also made me think like they're like, if I put up such a fight and then they got on to it, they probably said, yeah, we're not going to take it easy on this guy. And then, roto-rootered me.
They used the extra large probe.
Goodness sakes.
I doubt that thought crossed their mind.
I hope not. Anyways, I love and respect the medical folks out there. Although here's my thing to all anybody who's practicing out there. For Pete's sakes, I think we need to step up the phlebotomy training or something, because. So here's a little, I know we're talking about guitar pedals, but I just got to share this. So the other day I went in and I had, I never order this on the menu at our local place. I went in to get a hamburger and then I was like, oh, it's a fish Reuben. Now they're known for making fish. It's the old bag of nails. That's what it's called down here. And I said, I'm going to try that. Why not? Right. And I got through the whole thing. And then the last bit, I was like, what's this? And, I had a mouthful of fish, and I pulled out a bone, and I pulled out another bone, and then I swallowed. And I was like, I pulled two bones out. And I had a bone stuck in my throat. And I'm sitting there trying to kind of, and I was like, I'm sure it'll get.
That's unpleasant.
Oh, yeah. Super duper weird feeling and very unpleasant. And everybody that we talk to that we know that works in it is like, yeah, you need to go to the ER and get that. Make sure. Yeah. So anyways, as soon as I get there, they're putting me in, they're like, hey, okay, tell us your name. Are you allergic to anything? And this woman comes in and starts, well, she's a nurse. She's not, and just starts, it was the random
this bag
woman.
lady comes in off the street.
What are you in for? Here's a snack machine. I've been here for hours.
Respect the nurses, dude.
Yeah.
I'll just say that.
So, I see she's preparing a blood kit, a blood thing, and she looks at me and I looked at her stuff and then she looks back, she goes, your color just changed. And I said, yeah, I do not do well with needles, which is odd to say. If you've got arms full of tattoos and stuff, it's a different thing altogether.
Doesn't go nearly as deep.
Well, right. So I say, my problem is that every single time I'm trying to get an IV here, it takes at least two people 4 times to get to do it. I don't know why. So she said, no, that's not going to happen. Well, after 2 nurses and on the 4th try, they put it in my arm and And I immediately was like, oh, and she's like, oh, it's just a little pinch. And I said, no. And she said, does your arm actually hurt? And I said, yeah. And she said, oh, I might have put it through a nerve bundle. And it still hurts.
Oh, dear.
I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Why can't I just get somebody to go boop and it's in and yay? That's what you do. You got one job. Put the thing in the thing.
Todd, just call me up, man. Next time you need a draw, I got you, brother.
Yeah, I'm flying my personal phlebotomist. Anyways, thank you for that little detour. I love to spin a yarn.
So aside from that,
yes,
how was the fish Reuben?
The fish Reuben. I honestly, it wasn't. Great. It was not worth the bone. Just do a regular fish sandwich. There's something about Thousand Island and cabbage with fish that just doesn't. I don't know. Something was off. Some was weird. And it's usually really good there. We like to eat there.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That sounds like an all-around wonderful experience.
It was weird. It's not the way I expected to spend my evening. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Tony Boloney.
Let's talk pedals.
Let's do that. Sorry. And someone made a mention the other day about like, how long does it take to hear about what you guys are talking about?
As long as it takes.
As long as it takes.
Thank you very much.
This isn't just an information documentary. This is time with each other, everybody.
Number 4, the Lodge.
The Lodge. Okay, so we've got this fantastic pedal here. Thank you for indulging me about your apparently what I consider really fantastic line of work.
No problem, man.
So, what was the genesis of making this pedal?
Yeah, so shortly after the Toddcaster came together, I was messaging John Esterly of Rare Buzz Effects, and we were just kind of like, "Hey, wouldn't it be funny to do something for Tony, since he's on the show all the time, and it really contributes a lot."
He won't leave.
So he was like, "Well, we call him Tony Boloney. Why don't we make a Bologna themed pedal?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, we have to do that. We absolutely have to do that." So the first step, I was like, "Well, okay, what pedal are we going to do?" So I went back all the way to episode 39.
Oh my God.
39.
I mean, that's is almost as old as the Dead Sea Scrolls.
Yeah, so I can't remember what year was that. It had 17, 16?
I don't know. I think we were still running 112 in the AC side. No, God, I can't even remember. What was my episode?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, 39.
Really early.
I know that, but how old? I mean, was that 2016?
That would have been 2016.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah, pretty sure 2016.
Okay, yeah. So
maybe 7.
So I went on that episode and listened to your 4 on the floor.
Oh yeah.
And one of them was the Voodoo Lab Sparkle Drive. So I said, "Hey, I've got a little bit of experience tinkering with tube screamer variants. So let's track a schematic down for this and see what we can do." So after literally a couple years of tweaking and coming up with a suitable design that looks very much like a Oscar Mayer package.
Oh yeah.
Yep. We came up with the Tony Boloney. So I got to say, I looped Todd in probably months into the process, because I was I was going back and forth. Do I spray? Do I rattle can this thing? How am I going to finish this thing and make it look decent? So I broke down and I was like, you know what? If we're going to do this, let's do it right. So I knew that Todd had some experience with some graphic design, so I hit him up, and he came up with this.
Not 25 years, but nobody's counting.
Yeah, yeah, just a little experience,
just a little bit.
He does it on the side,
It's my side hustle.
Yeah.
The show is the breadwinner for my family.
Yeah.
Boy, they're hungry.
Todd, I didn't realize you actually really did have 25 years of experience. I apologize.
It's okay.
So
I'm still practicing too.
Before that, he was an anesthesiologist.
Are you practicing privately? Or?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So, I looped Todd in, and he came up with his awesome design, and I sent it off to Obscura Manufacturing, and they just knocked it out of the park. And I think the funniest part of all this was picking out the correct shade of pink.
Right.
Yep, it looks like a bologna sandwich.
It looks like flesh. It really does. And I would know.
Yes.
Well,
yeah, that's true. That's true. Yes.
Did you bring like color samples into the OR?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I brought the pedal in, and I'm like, it needs to be a little bit more red. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah. Well, I just happened to bring along my said Sparkle Drive from Voodoo Lab to compare side by side, and the enclosures are exactly the same size. Which is just like, boom. I said, hey, this feels right at home.
Same car, same tires.
Now, you did manage to label your controls a little bit different. From left to right is a pork, a beef, gristle, and fat.
Mm-hmm. And that's not on. That's not how they're labeled on the Voodoo Labs.
No, they were a little more conventional. They did gain, tone, clean, and volume.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that.
So on yours, pork translates into volume.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's knob number one.
Knob number one from left to right. Beef is tone.
Mm-hmm.
Gristle is the gain.
Yes,
and
sir.
Fat is the clean or the blend. It's really what it is a blend control. And the way that a Sparkle Drive and this drive as well works is it basically has two channels. It's got a Tube Screamer channel, 808, and that's where in this case the gain and the tone work side by side. There is a clean channel or that operates off of the blend knob, and you can either go, if you go all the way counterclockwise to the left, it's totally
it's backwards. It's
Tube Screamer. If you open it up all the way to the right, it's total clean.
Right. And which seems backwards because when you think you want to turn right, you're introducing more. So if the pedal is supposed to be an overdrive, it should be introducing more.
But it's a blend. This is a blend. Calling it clean is really kind of a misnomer.
But you still should be blending more of the sound into your signal.
Well, no, that side goes over to there, and this side goes over to here. And somewhere in the middle, you can blend between.
It's counterintuitive.
Well, maybe.
Todd, I agree with you.
See? He's a doctor.
Okay, we'll take his word.
That means nothing.
But anyhow, in your case, I mean, the layout actually having, I think, the fat or the clean blend thing at the very end does kind of make a little more sense because
I agree.
It just.
I don't know what those Voodoo Labs guys were thinking.
I don't know. They were smoking some kind of stuff over there. But anyhow, the pedals operate, side by side. They're very similar. Your pedal, I think, works slightly.
You mean
different.
Your pedal?
I mean my pedal.
Yes,
your pedal.
Yes.
I mean my pedal.
Yes.
It operates a little bit different, and we had talked about this a little bit. That some of the diodes and the chips and things are a little bit different. But overall, I have to say that the Tony Boloney pedal is a very, very useful pedal. I mean, and I like having that blend option of being able to blend in some of the clean signal along with the dirty signal. I mean, we've talked about this a million times.
Yeah.
The blend control is such a useful thing if you want to really dial in a sound. But overall,
it's a great pre-stack. I'm using this in front of the Schnobeltone Daily Driver.
Wow.
And I don't have it like pumping into it. I actually have it at a slightly lower volume, and what it's giving it is just a little extra bloom and a little bit more mid signal to the Daily Driver, which is not a mid-heavy pedal. It's got a low and a high on it, but by nature, it just it doesn't carry the mid weight so much. So this is a nice way to give it just a little extra bit of body. Mm-hmm. So in case you're using it, stack it, baby.
So that I have it running into the cha-cha. That's how I use it.
There you go.
And it's doing pretty much exactly what you're talking about. It really makes even a low gain fuzz or a heavy overdrive. It really just makes it, like you said, bloom. The mids really pop out. It's a very useful pedal, if I may say so myself.
You may.
So we've only got 20. You built 20 of these, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and we've got about half of them gone. I imagine by the time that this airs, we will have accumulated a few more just from previous announcements and everything.
You mean unaccumulated a few more?
Yes, yes, a few more. Yes, all those things, minus and counting.
Yeah.
So the goal is to get all these sold. And why is the goal to get them all sold?
So the all profits are going to Hungry for Music. So a charity that's local to my area, and they're focusing on getting musical instruments to kids and underserved areas and things. So they're doing pretty cool stuff. So they're neat people doing good work. So I figure, why not? Let's make a pedal and let's get it out there and do some good too. So it's kind of a win-win.
Yes. Yeah. And that's what you did for the last one too. I really like that you're thinking about things that you love. And thinking about, just being creative, and also you're connecting a whole lot of people too, which either through our own network, through Patreon or elsewhere, if people are just seeing it. We love making connections. Do you know the people at Hungry for Music personally?
I do not, no. But I've donated some things to them, so we've had a couple of interactions. But
you got to take this over to them and get a little press action going.
I know, I really should. Yeah, and that's on my to-do list.
Yeah,
that would be a lot of fun.
We've been tagging them when we're posting things. So if you out there get one of these, please tag them, tag Hungry for Music in the post, because you're naturally going to make a post of this because it's a great looking pedal and it sounds great too. So what's next, Mr. Jett? Do you have quite a bit more of this to offer?
Oh man, I don't know. That being said, I have been designing a few PCBs for some builder friends, namely Aisha from Low Sounds.
Oh,
yeah.
I see how you're doing this. Sneaky.
Yeah. So actually, and I actually spoke with Aisha and Gary Cooper. They are going to be coming out with a pedal here kind of soon. I can't tease too many details, but it is an overdrive pedal of the circuit of which is my own design.
Oh,
yeah. So it'll sound kind of sort of similar to the Boloney, but without the blend and that sort of thing. But it will have a ton of diode options, cap options. Like it has rotary switches all over the place.
I love a rotary switch. I love a rotary switch.
Oh, silly wobbit.
But so look at me giving some details away. But anyways, Gary is going to put them into these really, really neat wooden enclosures that are like custom handmade and etched and stuff. So and Aisha is a world-class builder. So be on the lookout for these. I'm not sure when exactly they're coming out, but they are getting close on the horizon there. So I had permission to tease that. So here I am plugging away.
Yeah.
Can you put 2 rotary switches on it?
There are 3 rotary switches.
Oh, there's 3 rotary switches.
I love it.
Oh, can you put 4?
I could, but that might make the universe implode. So I'm not sure we want to do that.
You know what? That's very cool. I'm glad that you have something more in the works because I like that you're doing these things that are fun, that make people happy, and that there's a reason behind what you're doing, and somebody else benefits beside the buyer.
I really appreciate that, Todd. Yeah, and it's good for me. It's good for the guitar community, and and I'm helping people out. I mean, what more can you ask for?
Yeah.
So and like I just like to reiterate, connecting with people. Again, and I mentioned this when I was on, episodes ago, that I've just been blown away by the positive response of the guitar community, and the pedal building community is kind of second to none. People always have your back. They'll drop whatever they're doing to help you out in terms if you have a question, and just dealing with customer service of other, companies that are helping you with a pedal build and stuff. The customer service is unbelievable. So I've had nothing but positive experiences, and I look forward to my pedal building days. And I'm looking forward to getting some more stuff out there.
Yes, and like the Carpenter said, "You've only just begun." Okay. Well, that was super fun. So people, waste no more time. I'm telling you, the rest of these are going to go right out the door, and I would love for you to have one. And maybe, just maybe, if for some reason they all get sold and everybody's clamoring, but I want one too. Maybe Sam does a pre-sale and knocks some more out. We'll see what happens.
You just have to ask nicely.
Yeah. Okay. So we have we got some good stuff here, right, guys? Round and third, heading home.
Oh, the good stuff.
Yes.
We're saving the best for last.
The best for last, yes. So.
Todd.
Yes.
At this point of the show.
Intimately.
I do. No, I don't.
That's weird.
That's very weird.
Yeah.
Cut that out. At this point of the show, there's a special game that we like to play called Would You Rather?
Yes. Where's Jared? Okay.
This week's Would You Rather is brought to us by our own Sam Jett.
Hey!
Yay!
Take it away, Sam!
All right. So, would you rather you and your band find yourselves in a haunted venue?
Oh.
I know. Yeah, and there is a vengeful, restless spirit.
I'm restless.
Okay. See?
Exactly.
Everybody's like, why don't Todd yell at Tony? See?
Ooh.
Yeah.
So this vengeful, restless spirit is going to possess one of two of your bandmates. Mm-hmm. So you have a choice. Is it going to possess your drummer? And if it possesses your drummer, what it will do is your drummer's tempo is going to be directly proportional to how loud they're playing. So the louder they play, the faster they go. Okay. And vice versa. The softer they play, the slower they go.
Okay.
Okay.
I've had drummers like that.
That's option one. Option two is the spirit can possess your keyboard / vocalist. So at some point during the night, during your set, two of your songs will be
like a Siamese twin or something?
A Siamese. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They didn't have anesthesia back then, so they couldn't separate them appropriately.
So it's vocals and keyboard. Okay.
Yeah. Exactly. So your keyboard vocalist will play two songs out of the set in the wrong key. So let's just say you're playing a song in the key of G. Well, they're just going to be jamming away in the key of F or whatever key that you can think of for that particular song. Okay, so those are your options. Option one, drummer. Option two, keyboard vocalist.
All right.
Wow.
Tanya, what are you going to do?
Well.
Oh, I just had an idea. You could. Oh my gosh.
Todd had an idea.
I wait. I'll wait for the idea till we're done. Okay, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
See what I have to put up with? I think having a drummer playing out of rhythm, speeding up, slowing down, and everything would be more of a disaster probably than having the keyboard player and vocalist going haywire on a couple of tunes. I mean, it kind of reminds me of a Partridge Family episode when Lori Partridge had just gotten...
That was a TV show a long, long time ago.
Yes, about a family that plays together in a band.
Yes, and rode in a rainbow-colored bus.
That is true. And Lori Partridge, the keyboard player, one of two keyboard players,
was possessed by a restless, vengeful spirit?
No, worse. She just got braces. And they would be playing in practice.
Oh, wait, she wasn't the older one.
Yeah, she's the older one.
She was, okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure.
Susan Day.
Okay, yes.
And she would play wrong songs. And it turns out, because of the braces, she was picking up radio signals.
Wow.
And she would play the wrong songs.
Like that Sparkle Drive.
That didn't. You're hearing things.
I'm not. Okay, go ahead.
You were possessed. So I think I'm gonna opt for, hey, 2 out of however many songs you're playing that night. Let's just do that. And we can apologize later. Whereas a drummer playing up tempo, down tempo, up tempo, down tempo would just be just a nightmare.
Okay, sounds good. Sam, what are you doing?
Well, I'm gonna have to agree with Tony on this. The drummer going haywire is so distracting. It is nearly impossible to recover from that.
Oh yeah, try compensating.
It is just so hard to compensate. So and as distracting as the keyboard vocalist going nuts, I'm gonna have to pick keeping my drummer as is.
Okay. I'm going to go for the drummer because I don't mind playing fast.
Okay.
So if it's fast, it's going to be loud.
Yeah.
And I'm game for that.
What about the quiet parts where it slows down?
There's no quiet parts. I don't have quiet parts in my song, man. I go. Baby. I throttle. Put it down.
It's called dynamics.
Yes. Out with the door with dynamics. Just
all righty.
Thrust.
Well, welcome to your own island for a change.
Yes, indeed. That was very clever, Sam. Thank you for doing that. And we've introduced a new muse with the possessed spirit who can hang out with the genie in the time machine.
And the ghost of Frank Zappa.
And the what? Yes. All right. Well, we need to thank a few people here, homeboy.
That's right, Todd, because at this point of the show is a special group of people that we love to thank. These are our executive producers, Now an executive producer helps make this show possible. How do you become one? Easy as pie. Head over to patreon.com/the Guitar Knobs. Check out a couple different levels in which you can participate, become a friend, a hero, a patron of the podcast. See, a patron of the podcast. The P sound. Pop, pop, pop. Each level comes with some very nice thank you gifts. And I mean, there's a prize package awaiting you that just boggles the mind, I tell you. Oh, and opportunities to win stuff? Sure. We've got giveaways that are exclusively for our Patreon sponsors. But in addition to all that great stuff, there is one thing more. What would that be, Jared?
You have a name in the thing.
That's right, Jared. Thank you. Your name read on the thing, and that's what I'm going to do right now. So special thanks to these executive producers: John Sebastian, Trevor Ellenberg, Cameron Pampas, James Bell, Brett Hogarth, Don Kloss, Ralph Gottschalk from Wonderful Audio Technology. What? Rusty Sneeden, Vader and Pedals, John Halverson, Rick Calhoun, Trevor Gunberg, Elad Mizrahi, Richard Kendall, James White, Justin Jones, John Esterly from Reverb Effects, Anthony Lathrop, Stefan Lamb, Michael Senchuk, Ken Sayers, Darren Gregory, Tom Barazin, Eric Marrow, and Plutone.
All right. I love it.
But Todd, there's more.
Sorry.
Because there's a special group of executive producers. We call them our Grand Poobahs. These are the creme de la creme, the top of the heap, the A number ones, and they wear a fez upon their head whilst listening to the podcast. So special thanks to these Grand Poobahs: Anthony Gemalero, Billy Spitfire Unlimited, Bob Crouch, Brian Robison, Cody Foster, David Kaminga, David Tyndall, Enrico Fernando, Fox Hill Studio, Hex Matos, James Pennington, John Williams, LSJ Music Company, Matt Hart, Michael Van Zant, Michio Murakishi, Moon Guitars, Paul Von Eppinger, Steve Keys, Tyler Casey Rhines, Zach Oswald from Brandon Wound Pickups, Pedro Vasquez, Gregory Randall, and I think there's one more by the name of Sam Jett.
That is correct.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you so very much. We love saying all those names out. We would love it if you shared with your friends our show. We love getting new listeners, and if you're considering joining the Poobahs and the producers and the whatnots and the ho-hums, then we would really love to welcome you, and it would greatly help out our show.
Yes.
It's really fun, guys. You should do it.
In fact, we're just about to give away this book signed by Chris Gill.
Chris Gill.
The co-author of this book, Eruption: Conversations with Eddie Van Halen. I have 3 to give away, and this is going to be the first of one, and it's going to LSJ Music Company.
Hey,
Nice.
That is correct.
Right.
So we'll send that out. There's a nice little signature in the front of this, and it's a great read. So,
And it covers the age-old question of the use of the Variac.
possibly. I don't know if it does, actually. I can't remember if it does.
It probably does.
I think it does.
It should.
It probably
If
should.
not, I'll write it in the back cover.
It's been a minute since we got our first issue of that, so I'd have to reread that. Anyways, okie dokie. Well, Sam, where can people find this amazing pedal?
So go to Instagram at Tony Boloney is the handle.
Boloney.
Boloney. There you go. Yep. And you'll meet a friendly person on the other end. That would be me. So just DM me if you're interested, and we'll hook you up.
That's the ticket. All right, Tony, where can people find out what you're doing?
Head over to pickguardian.com. Just check out what I'm doing. What do? I make custom pick guards for guitars. How do you get one? Shoot me an email. Let me know what you're trying to do. I will take good care of you. I might
How
even
do
have
people shoot you an email? Where do they shoot it to?
Well, they can go to my website,
Yes.
PickGuardian.com.
PickGuardian.com.
There's a little thing you can click on, or just go over to info@PickGuardian.com.
There you go.
That's very easy to do. It's your opportunity to make your guitar even more yours.
Yes. They could probably also DM you on Instagram, too.
They could.
At PickGuardian2.
Yes.
I mean 1.
One.
PickGuardian1.
PickGuardian1.
With the number 1.
Somebody stole PickGuardian.
Yes. And if you're like, I can't get a hold of Tony because it's too complicated, just shoot me a message and we'll hook you up. Okay?
Yes, I know how to contact Todd.
Yes. You can shoot me a DM on Instagram, and we'd love to hear from you. Tell us what you're into, what you like about the show, what you like about your guitar stuff, whatever. I don't care. Tell me what you had for breakfast. I'd love to connect with you. And we're so glad that you're out there listening. Tell a friend. Let's get more people listening and sharing in the community. Yep. And it is ever expanding. On Patreon, we've introduced basically community way for everybody to connect, and they're doing it, and it's great. So really, really appreciate that. Go get your Tony Boloney pedal. Have a fantastic guitar week. Thank you, Sam Jett.
Thank you.
And subscribe.
Thought the major was a lady suffragette. Jet.
I mean, I guess so.
Yeah.
So I found some.
This is all really fine and good before the show, but this is stuff we can be talking about on the show.
Okay,
You got to say it all over again.
Jeez.
You have to say it all over again. I don't really think Sam knows what he's doing anyway. So, oh, hey, Sam.
Hey guys. I heard that.
We're waiting on the line, Sammy. Where are you? I still don't understand why there were so many Jett things called back then. Benny and the Jets, the whole Jett thing, and Jet Boy, Jet Girl, and a bunch of other Jet stuff. The Jetsons, Benny the Jet, Benny and the Jets. What was up with that?
And you do realize that the
Easy for you to say.
what is that called? Like something that Tesla would have used.
Was that cool
What?
when he used it?
He sat inside of a Faraday cage.
You saw him.
I did not see him.
Tony almost went for that for a second. He's like, yeah, wait a minute.
Oh,
I was at work that day.
hey guys.
Yeah.
I'm okay. Sorry, my kids came in.
Oh.
I'm good.
Hello, kids.
Hey, can you say hi to Todd and Tony?
Hello.
Hey, that's the guy that this pedal your dad's been working on is made for.
That's right. It's me.
Oh, yeah. Tony Boloney.
Tony
That's
Boloney.
me. It's my name. Don't wear it out. Thank God somebody does.
Oh. Are you? Hey, by the way, if you're like when you get home, sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so wired, I just can't sleep. Or could I? He's an anesthesiologist, so.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you got me. You got me. Ready?
I'm ready.
Wait.
Okay.
Tell Tony I'm not listening.
Okay. Todd's not listening. All right, Tony. So you find yourself in a haunted venue.
Ooh, I like haunted venues.
A haunted venue, and
everything out loud.
what?
And it's got a cartoon of a guy in a chariot with an ostrich pulling it. I mean, how could you go wrong?
Perfect.
Okay. Can I come back?
Yes, Todd, you can come back now. Gosh, he's such a baby.
Consider me sold.
That's exactly how they'd say it in there. Consider me sold.
Hey. Ah, Bagora.
That's what they say when they leave the cobbler too. All right, consider me sold, lad. For what?
I said, would it be me?
What?
What? Huh?
Oh my gosh. See, Sam? Oh, Moanin' Rob.
Thanks, guys.
Womp, womp.
I love it.
Oh, do I ever go through your notebook?
I don't know. Maybe you will now.
Dear diary.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
And away we go.
Well, that's it for these knobs. Please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/theguitarknobs. Visit our website at theguitarknobs.com for all of our past episodes, 4 on the Floor blog, and other good stuff. You can connect with us on social too at our Facebook page and share your gear and stories on our Facebook group. Also, be sure to check out our Instagram at Guitar Knobs. Catch you next time.